I'm sure many of you guys will have seen this interview. This is only a short clip from it. But for those of you that don't know, this is Luke Williams, who at the time was manager of Notts County, has since moved to Swansea City as manager. And in this press conference, he was getting asked about why Notts County takes so many short corners. Okay. And you can see from the graph on the left that League Two data since the 2019-20 season, Notts County had taken 77% of their corners short, which is 22% more than any other team in that time frame. Okay, as I say, I'm now going to play a short video. Hopefully, it plays okay. If not, we're gonna summarize it on the next slide anyway.
Then, when you play against Notts County, one of the issues that you have is that the ball is in play for longer than any other game in the NFL. So you will notice that the players have been instructed that they sprint. Poor little Wazza, he sprints, gets the ball, puts it down, passes it immediately. So you don't get a break. Some of the defenders, many of the defenders, they love corners because they can have a rest. They're 6'3", so they don't want Dan Crowley running at them or Azza running behind them. They definitely don't want Macca in the box free and scoring 42 goals from open play. Right? So we take the ball, put it down, immediately pass the ball, and the defender, again, Notts County, come on, just kick it into the goalkeeper's hands so we can smash it the length of the pitch and break. No, not going to happen, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. And we kicked one last season directly into the box, and Macca scored. You know why? Because everybody was at the corner trying to stop us playing short. So I'm sorry to break everyone's hearts, but this is the reality that we are extremely successful from corners.
There we go. Round of applause, I think, for that. Sure.
Okay, hopefully you guys could watch that. Okay, really interesting interview and quite humorous at the same time. But yeah, these are the key things I pulled out from that interview. Okay, firstly, the fact that Luke Williams was trying to use set plays to contribute to the team's overall style of play. Okay, so he talked about using corners to build intensity within games. So using set plays to support the wider game model. Using set plays to play to individual players' strengths. Okay, so he spoke about using set plays to get someone to run in behind, a quick player to run in behind, or creating a 1v1 situation for, I assume, a technically strong player. Okay, he also spoke about stopping the opposition, winning the ball quickly and counter-attacking. So using set plays, attacking set plays to nullify the opposition's strengths. Okay, and then the example he used where the opposition went all in on stopping a short corner, still giving his team that flexibility to adapt based on the scenario within the game. So when everyone came short to defend, they put it in the box and scored. And lastly, I think he raised a really interesting point about the complexity of defining what is classed as a set play goal. Okay, so if you play a corner or a free kick short and you make 20 passes and score, is that a set play goal? Likewise, if you deliver a ball direct into the box, there's 2 or 3 phases where the opposition clear it, then you score. Is it a set play goal? So we definitely need to be aware of what we're defining as set play goals when we start looking at the data.
I've got a question actually, Billy. I don't know if you know the answer to this or not, but Matthias Gasser, he's asked what Notts County's XG was, if you know whether it was sort of higher, how successful they were on corners as a result.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that, and we can probably find out through. Obviously, I've got access to the Y-Scout data through my job at Huddle, so more than happy to follow up on that out of interest. It's a really good point.
Yeah,
I think one of the points he was trying to make is that statistically, from some of the data providers, maybe they weren't that high up in terms of set play rankings. So the data might have suggested that Notts County don't rank particularly high for attacking corners, for example. But his argument was, well, we play so many corners short, it might not directly result in a goal within the immediate play, but by having a philosophy of playing short, it contributes to 2 goals scored that maybe haven't been defined as a set play, if that makes sense.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, Billy.
Brill. Okay, so we've got an example from Notts County, which is brilliant. So when I was preparing this, I thought, okay, well, let's try and look at some data from the Premier League. Okay, so we've now got some data from the current season in the Premier League, which is really interesting. Okay, so this graph here shows you the amount of possession a team has in relation to the percentage of corners that they play short. Okay, with the idea being that teams that have more possession take a higher percentage of their corners short. Therefore, they're using corners to support their wider game model. And you can see from the graph, there's a clear correlation that this is the case. Okay. And if we look at some examples, you can see the likes of the teams you would expect who have low possession in the Premier League. So your Evertons, Lutons, Sheffield United, for example, they're also the teams that don't take many short corners. Okay. Likewise, some of your big hitters that have a lot of the possession. So Man City, Tottenham, Brighton, they're the teams that take really high percentage of their corners short. Okay. And there are a couple of interesting slight outliers. They're not massive outliers, but you look at Arsenal and Liverpool, for example, they have a lot of possession, but they don't take as many short corners as perhaps you would expect. They've obviously got a slightly different plan of going more direct, and Arsenal particularly have been hugely successful this season. Likewise, you've got Fulham, who are a team that ranks slightly lower, don't have so much possession, but they take a lot of corners short. So really interesting data. And just to summarize, it kind of supports that belief that the elite teams are using set plays to support their open play philosophy.